Hey, happy damn Friday. Am I centered in this thing? I don't know. I feel like I'm not centered. What's going on, guys? Let's get my big. There we are. Are we perfectly centered? Are we perfectly angled? What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. The last Friday of September. Can you believe that? We're already in October, and October is my birthday month. So if you want to if you want to shower me with gifts and presents, my birthday is October 13th. So feel free to shower me with gifts and presents. I'll be 56, lifting the fountain of youth or what? I'm not the prettiest picture in the museum, but I'll tell you what, man, I owe every damn thing to lifting. I can't even begin to stress how it's the fountain of youth and how good I feel. So, what's everybody doing? Welcome to Happy Friday, Massive Iron Live, you ugly freaks. Hope you had a good week. How was your training this week? Wow, I'm a little bit fogged. We stayed up watching a bad horror movie last night, and man, I'm ready for the weekend. I don't know about you guys. If you Buddy Boy heard me and he's ready to be introduced. Come here, Buddy Boy. Come here. Come on, Buddy. Come on, Buddy. It's okay. Come on. Oh, I can't pick you up when you're like that. All right. He wants to come up, but he doesn't want to come up. Come here, buddy. Say hi. When he hears my voice, he comes running. Welcome to Massive Art Live, guys. If you are new here, I'm here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Don't be shy about posting up your questions, really. This is not some exclusive club. Please post up your questions. And don't worry if they've been asked 1,000 times before. I'm here to help. If you are late to the party and you want to send a question, let me just find the banner. You can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. Slide into my DM. I answer every question on Instagram. This is Buddy Boy, Chi Chi. 2 Fridays ago, he's a very nervous dog. He shakes. That's all right, buddy. I'm right here for you, buddy. This is my buddy, if you can't tell. He likes me a little bit, and I like him too, if you can't tell. This is my dog. I have 3 dogs, but this is a guy that attached to me for some reason. He's a crazy old boy. He's a crazy boy. I'm going to put him down because he's a little bit spazzy, and he'll be all right. So, Massive Iron Live is the longest running live Q&A that I know of in the history of lifting, and if that's not the case, I'm just going to keep saying it and wishing it into reality. So, what's new with you guys? I got a couple new program ideas I'm going to be rolling out. One of the ideas is a crossbreed between kind of my upper posterior and a body part split, where we pull over one exercise, like on your we're going to be doing basically a body part split, but we're going to pull over one exercise on chest day, one chest exercise in the shoulder day, and one shoulder exercise in the chest day. So we're going to kind of cross pollinate a little bit for those that don't want to dive completely into a body part split, but they want to put their little twinkle toes in the water. That's what we're going to do. So I got that program. I'm always coming up with new program ideas. So anyway, feel free to post your questions, diet, training, nutrition, off topic, whatever. Before we get into things, guys, it is bulking season, and what was I going to say? I have a few coaching spots available. Superlivingtoday.com. Check out the coaching tab. If you're wondering about coaching, if you're just curious about coaching, you can fill out the form and ask me questions. I got dog hair everywhere. You can fill out the form and ask me questions. There's no commitment. My coaching, I coach for full-time for a living. I'm not a part-time coach. I don't just check in once a week via email on a little spreadsheet. I'm not making fun of coaches like that, but that's not me. I don't do that kind of stuff. I want to get to know my clients. I check in 5 days a week. Everything we do is on the fly modifications. My clients, we change things on the fly. We analyze form every single day. We are in the trenches together. And after the first month, it's only $89.40. I try to provide not only the most amount of service, but one of the most competitive prices. And a lot of people that come to me and say your prices are lower than your prices are too low. That's just the way it's going to be. Because I do this full time. Coaching is what I love. Coaching is what I live for. And if you're interested, please just check out the coaching tab up there. It'd be a good Christmas present, right? Team Massive, teammassiveiron.com. I'll talk about this and then we'll get rolling. Teammassiveiron.com is a private community. It's a website and a private community like a Facebook group, but with all politics and religion and drama. There's no drama, no trolls, no bullshit. Please come join teammassiveiron.com. There are a lot of people that join that don't use it, and that's just the way it goes, right? But if you want help, it's like micro coaching. You can have form checks. You can ask me questions. You can be part of the community. I have some folks that really use it for bulking adjustments and form adjustments, and some that don't. And I wish more would use it, but I can't force people to use it. But we have a big community, so check that out as well. If you need a whey protein, if you need a creatine, I'm not a supplement company, but I have that in the subs tab. I have really good products that I use. And if you need a workout, check out the workouts tab. Let's go, folks. All right, let me get all this stuff off here. And we'll get rolling. Today's Massive Iron Live brought to you by Monster Energy. Not really. I have no affiliation. I just drink them all. All right, what are we doing? Rico, good afternoon. Stein, what's going on? Big Bad Tim. Carnivore Barbell, Rico, all these people are from Team Massive, by the way. So you're missing out on all these crazy, zany people. Carnivore Barbell, killing it. Tim, killing it. Stein, just killing life. And Rico is Tito Santana's brother, so he's killing it. Rico, what's the plans? Not much. What am I doing this weekend? I don't know. Whatever the wife says I'm doing. I think I'm doing something this weekend. I don't know. I can't keep up with her schedule, to be honest. Oh, what am I doing? I'm in my second movie. I'm going to be in my second movie. Just a small part. I play in early 1950s kind of mob nightclub Cubano music. I'm a hitman and the bodyguard for the mob boss. My name is Lasso, and we got together, read through the initial script on Wednesday. So it's just a small independent movie. It's not any big Hollywood stuff, right? But it's fun. So that's what I am doing in my personal life in the 3 hours a week where I don't that I have free time. Big Tim, and Tim asked at the end. I'm gonna pop this up real quick. How do you get called up for the movie role? Well, a real short story. I live in Lebanon, Ohio. And literally the building I used to own, I sold it this spring. Right behind it was the theater. Fiona does costuming. And a couple of weird things converged. Number one, Woody Harrelson is born in this city. And him and his mom sponsor the theater. Now, I don't know Woody, but a lot of Hollywood directors film movies here in Cincinnati area. Now, my good friend Frank Bill is a writer. He wrote the book Donnybrook, which got turned into a movie with Frank Grillo. I was supposed to be in Donnybrook in the fight cage scene. I got cast, but Fiona had just come over and I made a weird decision not to. They were filming in the middle of December, 33-degree weather all night long, and it was raining. And I had just met Fiona. Fiona had just come over from Australia. So it might sound stupid, but I didn't have a major role in Donnybrook, but I just was, going to be one of the background clowns in the cage or whatever. But I just made a decision not to go for those 2 nights and spend time with her, and that turned out really well. But anyway, there's a lot of filmmaking and a lot of connections here in the Lebanon area. And some of the people that Fiona's done costuming for asked her to be a dancer in the background of this movie, kind of a, and then me, they all know me as a brick wall. So when they need like a brick wall in like a local independent film, they kind of call on me. So that's an honor. Let's just leave it at that. Big Tim, what's your favorite? Tim's got that extra U in there that make Americans twitch, right? Favorite. Uh, Tom Platz easily. Um, I don't really know. I don't really know that I have a specific, favorite power lifter. But Tom Platz, I've always liked him just for the crazy obsession over leg development. Big Bob Miller, good morning. Friday, show your gains flex Friday. On Team Massive, we have Flex Friday where you can send a post, a flexing picture, flex with a big lift, anything you want, anything. Super flexy sexy. Oh. Dominic. And Dominic, I'm going to give you a t-shirt. I'm going to give you a hoodie, t-shirt or hoodie or massive wear, massive creatine. I'm just going to toss it out there. So make sure to DM me on Instagram. I'm coming back from an injury and struggling to bench 135 for 6, where I could previously bench 2 plates. Just go slow. I don't know the nature of the injury, but all I can say is when you're coming back from an injury, go slow, go slow. Go extremely slow. When I tore my left shoulder lifting an empty oil drum, probably almost 10 years ago, I added 5 pounds a week. I started with the bar. Next week was 50. Next week was 55. I literally did that for a year. So you can't force recovery. Just go in, enjoy the process, progress slowly on exercises you can progress on. Big Joy, should you weight train your shins, calves, abductors? Look, when I got into running as a bigger dude, a lot of people were like, oh no, you're going to die, right? You're going to shoot your eye out, kid, because you're a big guy. Big guys don't run. Big guys just get injured running, right? Not true. Not true. Let me hide the spam call here, of course. What I found out, and I never got really injured running other than minor, bumps and bruises, was that because of my leg strength, my tendon strength, my connective tissue strength from all the years of lifting, I really didn't get injured. So it kind of goes to show that not just muscular strength, but tendon and connective tissue strength are very important for injury prevention. So normal weight training, what I didn't do any adductor, tibia work. My calves are big already. I didn't really do any direct calf work, but strength will help with injury prevention. So if you want to do a little bit of that each week, you certainly can, and it's certainly no downside. I would just I wouldn't overdo it. Let's put it that way. Yvonne, good morning. Good morning, Yvonne. Thanks for tuning in. Nick, advice on when to introduce strength training in my kids. 11-year-old's very interested. That's good. So the first thing you want to do is not pressure them. Okay. Not turn it into like, okay, now we're going to do strong lifts or starting strength, or we're going to do barbell exercise, or we're going to have a program, right? You don't want to worry about programs. You don't want to worry about structure. You want to worry about nurturing the play, like the fun. That's how my daughter started. And we did some light dumbbells. You want to give them things that aren't spinal loading, like squats or deadlifts. that don't put any form of spinal compression. We don't want a bar on their back. We don't want anything that's going to hammer their lower back. Okay, we want to be really careful about that. So squats and deads are completely off the sheet. Okay, dumbbell curls, push-ups, body weight exercises, they don't know the difference between a burpee and something like dumbbell rows. You can do moderate dumbbell exercises, really light stuff. They need a period of neuromuscular adaptation. Okay, all lifters do, but it's even more essential, I would argue, for a child. So we need to ease in slowly. We're not going to be focused on heavy weight. We want to give them exercises they can perform and perform naturally well. Body weight and dumbbell stuff. If they're in a commercial gym, they can do some machines. We don't want to worry about progression. We don't want to worry about weight. We want to worry about nurturing the enjoyment and showing them how to do the exercise correctly. Kids love that stuff. Show them how to do an exercise correctly, and it's like a challenge. They want to do it correctly, so they'll remember that stuff. So that's where I would start. I have a kids program in my database somewhere. It's not for sale, but if any of you need it, you can email me and I'll send you the bones. Camden, besides loose skin, how does obesity visually impact the body after weight loss? Well, assuming you're lifting, you're not going to have, any change in bone density. I didn't have any issues in vascularity. In fact, my vascularity was ridiculous, and I didn't expect that. Everybody's going to be different, obviously, but it really didn't impact anything other than loose skin. I had really good vascularity. It doesn't impact your bone structure that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you got to 400, 500 pounds and you had greater bone density from carrying around that weight, I don't know enough about that, though. I know that lifting increases bone density. I don't think it's going to increase bone size. I don't think lifting or being obese will do that. So as far as your bone structure, nada. Eric, Arik, when is your massive calves program coming out? I don't know about that. When my book comes out, I'll have some stuff on calves. But I have stuff on calves right now. It's just super simple. For calves, like, you want to start with a seated calf raise. I'm sorry, my sinuses are killing me right now. Don't know why, hard to breathe. My sinuses are killing me. You want to attack the soleus, calf raises. So you want to do 2 to 3 seconds up, hold for a sec, 2 to 3 seconds down. We're going to add some tension. Start with a seated calf raise. Do 10 to 12 reps in that style. Elliot, shout out to Team Massive. Thanks, Elliot. Let me get a drink. I'm really struggling right now with my sinuses. Makes it hard to breathe. I have asthma and sinus issues. My nose is not locked up if you can't hear it. So I'm struggling a little bit. I have asthma at times. No need to panic, but I'm just struggling a little bit to breathe optimally. I'll try not to die here on camera. John, last week we discussed one workout a week in home gym with dumbbell and easy bar. I can't really do that, John. I mean, I'd love to help, but that's basically building you a workout. And I'm not against that, but the time it takes to do that is at least an hour. And I'm just being honest, John, no hard feelings. You're the only one that's going to do that, right? So I'm basically building you a custom workout. I just like if I'm going to build a workout, I have to build something that many people can use. You know what I'm saying? So I try to extend myself as much as I can, but I simply can't. I don't have the time to build one-off, workouts. If I did something like this, it would be for somebody that has access to a barbell and reasonable home gym equipment. And I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but a dumbbell and an easy bar is not a lot to work with. You can't squat, you can't deadlift. All you can really do is dumbbells, right? Elliot, hey Steve, is it better to have an upper day before posterior when deadlifts are on the menu? Well, you don't want to have any back or bicep stress the day before deadlifts. Okay. So upper can mean different things to different people. Upper can mean to some they have an upper lower, and on the upper, they're doing chest, shoulders, and back. For some in my world, when we're doing upper posterior, you're doing chest and shoulders, and sometimes arms. But whatever you do the day before deadlifts, you do not want to enter with back fatigue, traps fatigue, really core fatigue, and biceps fatigue. If you enter with back fatigue, the deadlifts are going to feel heavy, and you probably end up placing more stress on your lower back. Bicep tears, I've seen, but in lifting, I've seen more bicep tears and chest tears than anything else. So we want to be super cautious about entering the deadlifts with any biceps fatigue at all. So I hope that helps. If you want to do deadlift on a back day and before that you did chest, shoulders, and triceps, I would. And then I would toss biceps onto the back day. Dumbbells and donuts. Let me shake the cooties out of my eyes. You obviously love to train. I love to move. Yes, sir. Have you ever had any periods in your life when that motivation abandoned you? No. I have not. Usually it's the opposite. Like there are periods in coaching where you are slammed, where like summer, I keep a lot of clients during summer, but during summer, it's not a huge priority for people to sign up for coaching. So, my coaching roles might drop like 10%. I'll lose like a few clients. And then it'll pick up around September and pick up again around January. And that's kind of the cycle. And in the busy periods, I don't get to train enough. So usually it's the opposite. I want to train more. I want to find time to train more. I want to find time to run more. Honestly, it's not unusual. I'm not trying to act like a superhero. There are certainly days I don't feel like training. But there are periods where I need to take a break from the mental stress of trying to get under super heavy weight, and that's just cyclical. Well, I'll do more volume work. But I've never lost someone. I just personally haven't. Good morning, Dan White Jr. Good morning. I'm including bodyweight exercises. Well, the only thing I'm going to say is, Dan, consider them. Just don't elevate them above barbell and dumbbell. There are some that can be good secondary exercises like dips and pull-ups. That doesn't mean it's not a primary exercise, so don't get upset, guys. I'm just saying, like bench press is considered more of a primary, and dips would be a good follow-up. A good barbell or dumbbell or pendlay or dumbbell row is a good primary, and pull-ups are a good complement for that. Beyond that, inverted rows can have a place if you're training at home. They're a decent body weight exercise for hypertrophy. You can get a really good back feel. Push-ups I work in for a lot of clients because you can superset them with I don't know, pec deck, boring, right? Dumbbell flies, boring. Cable crossovers, boring, right? I mean, for me, they're not the most exciting lifts. So a lot of times I'll superset them with push-ups because I think the push-up can have a lot of value when you do nice and controlled down, get a stretch and push up. Too many people when they do push-ups, they do it like rabbit sex. You know, it sounds crude, but that's just the kind of way they do it. What other body weight exercises are good? Well, there's some good body weight stuff for abs, obviously. A whole slew, if you will, of exercises. Chin ups are just a pull up variation. Neutral grip pull ups are good as well. What am I missing? Those are really the big ones. There's a good triceps exercise called the triceps get up um, where you basically start in a plank position and you push yourself up. You push yourself up on one arm, up on the other, down, down. It's a very challenging exercise for your triceps. That's one of the better triceps body weight exercises. You can do things with a TRX, which I would still consider body weight in nature, right? You can do TRX extensions. You can even do TRX curls. I don't know. It all depends on if you want to consider those body weight. Beyond that, maybe I'm missing something so someone can scold me, but that's about the limit of my interest in body weight stuff for hypertrophy. Big, hairy, ugly dude. If you have two identical males, one trains 3 times a week. Here we go with a hypothetical, not being dismissive, but and the other 2 times a week. Do they end up in the same mass? First off, this never happens. So what we're trying to do is create a scenario that never happens to analyze possible outcomes. First off, Bert, I appreciate the question, but the reality is this doesn't happen in real life. No one only trains for 2 times a week for 5 years. So it's a non-question, right? There might be some weird outlier out there, but it just doesn't happen. The fear here generally is that someone needs to do a period where they can only do twice a week, and they fear that it's dramatically going to chop their gains. Well, you're still going to get good gains out of 2 days a week. Coach John Christie, strength coach, had people train generally only 2, maybe 3 days a week, and they had good gains. What is the difference? It's too hard to speculate, but you're going to see if the thing is, the way I always put it, if you give me 2 days a week to train, what am I going to do? Right? I'm going to find a way to run through brick walls. And I would assume you would as well. So it's not as simple as 2 and 3 days. If I went down to 2 days a week, I might add in extra work, like I might do 2 a days, or I might do longer workouts. So, all things equated, maybe on paper, and this is there's no science behind this. I'm just saying, maybe in a year you see a 20% drop off in gains, maybe. But the way the curve works is if you're making good gains on 3 days a week, whatever you have left to gain the next year, you have let me explain this. I don't know if we can do this without you guys want me to pull up a Word document here and do this. Let's do that. Hold on a second. I want to pull up some numbers here and actually show you guys what I am talking about in just numbers. So let me get this prepped. Don't go anywhere. We're not gonna do some super calculus or anything, but I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about in real world numbers, and this will help explain. Let me just get back to whatever. Okay, I'm going to present screen share. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is what happens. We're going to have let me make a chart here. Let me make a table. Okay, so let me see if I can widen this so we can get this on screeny weeny a little bit. And let me change the paint setups. Hang tough, because I'm going to show you in the real world what this would mean theoretically between okay, so here, sorry, hang with me. We got to do all the stuff. We got to do the centering stuff. Where is it? It's messing me up. There we go. All the centering stuff. So this is a 3-day guy. Whoops. We don't need to do that. This is a 3-day. And this is a 2-day. Oops. Sorry. That's the issue with live crap. I'm going to screw something up. So that's 3-day and that's 2-day. So background color, we'll send that. We'll do that. The thing. Okay. So basically, in any given year, you have the potential to gain about 50% of remaining natural potential. Okay, let's establish that. You have about. So if you are, I'm going to take this question off here so we can see a little bit better. Hang tough. Where do we go? There we go. You have about, in any given year, you have the potential to gain about 50% of your remaining natural potential. So if you're starting fresh and you have a potential to gain 32 pounds of mass over the course of your career, lifting career, you have the potential your first year to gain up to 16. No one ever does that because it's extremely rare. You'd have to nail everything. So let's say the 3-day-a-week person is about 1/3. Okay, 33%. They're going to gain 33% of whatever they have remaining. And let's say there's a dip on the 2-day of the 25%. And this is all theoretical. What this means, okay, is that whatever potential you have to gain, and let's say it's starting at 32 pounds of mass. Let's say our lifter is going to gain 32 pounds of mass, or he has the potential to gain 32 pounds of mass over the course of his lifting career. This 33%, I would say 4 days is more optimal. I hate to use the word optimal, but let's say the 4-day guy was about 40%. Let's say the 3-day guy is going to be about 33% of whatever gains he has left. That's what he's going to get in the next year. And the 2-day guy slightly lower, about 25. Is this making sense? So we start with 32 pounds. During the first year, our lifter gains 10 pounds and he has 22 left. Okay. So this lifter is going to gain 25% of that 32-pound potential. And he has 24 left. Now, this is what we base percentage off of for year 2. 33% of this, 25% of this, what they have left. So lifter 2 is going to gain 25% of this. So he's going to gain 6 year 2. We're going to have 18 left. Okay, you following along? And lifter number 1, we're going to say about 7, 33%, give or take, because we were a little high on the first one. So we have about 15 left. You can see the percentage difference seems, 8% seems like a lot. Oops, what did I bold that for? 8% seems like a lot, but in real world application, it becomes very trivial. Now, for 3rd year, going to gain about 25% of that. So we're going to go straight 4.5 pounds. We're going to slice it and dice it. And he has 13.5, he, she, whatever. 13.5 left to gain after year 3. Let's just see where we're at here. 33% of 15 is 5. You can see the difference is really uh, becoming trivial. And we'll do one more year and then we'll add up the total. Okay. So 25% of this, 1/4. What is 13.5? Whoops. 13.5 divided by 4 is 3.38. We'll put 3.4. Okay. So 3.4 and 10.1 left. Okay. So this is what our lifter, our 2-day a week has gained here. We're going to knock off 3. Close enough, right? Okay. We'll do 3.3. And then we have 6.7 left. So after 4 years, you can see an odd thing happens here. Because this lifter has less left to gain, come around year number 4, this guy, because he has more left to gain, but a lower percentage, actually has a potential to basically equal him by year 4. So things kind of equal out because the person that starts faster has less left in their cup, right? The person that starts slower has more left in their cup. So that's the amazing thing about natural potential. After you get to, this kind of a stage, this year he's gaining 2.5 and he's like at 7.6 left. And what do we got? We got a third. So we got like 2.2, right? Roughly. And then 4.5 left. You can see that by year 4 and year 5, this person's actually has theoretically the potential to gain more muscle because they have more left to gain, even though they're at a lower percentage. Does that make sense? So really, if we look, we look at, this is all theoretical, but when we look at percentages, after 5 years, it's really trivial. And you bump it out to 8 years and it's going to be, the difference is going to be non-existent. And this is, again, all theoretical, but I hope that helps some. In the real world, the difference really isn't substantial. And that's why, theoretically, these questions just don't exist. You just don't have people that only train for 2 days for 5 years. They just simply don't exist. The question we're really asking is what's going to be the hit over the long run in extreme circumstances. And I just showed you after about year 3 or 4, things start to catch up and swing in favor of the person training less frequently. That's simple math. That's the way math works. So let me know if you guys have any questions on that. Big Bad Bert. Bert, I'm going to give you a t-shirt, a hoodie, a whey creatine, or a Team Massive membership. Hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or benthebarman@gmail.com. I saw your Dr. Mike reaction video. What would be optimal in your opinion to build as much mass as possible if all factors were on point? What would be optimal? Well, what we understand of natural potential, and I just covered that previously, is that lifters roughly 30 to 35. I use 32 because the 35, these are lifters that start at a normalized body weight. 35 is going to be more for the big bone tall guys that have a little bit more potential. So for the rest of us, we're just going to use 32 because it's close enough. You have about half, you have the potential to gain about half of that in the first year. But here we are back in theoretical world. Not being sassy, but no one lives in theoretical world. In the real world, no factors are going to be all on point. Maybe 1 out of 10,000. I was someone that had a lot of factors on point, and I still didn't hit 16 pounds of mass in my first year. I crushed progression. I crushed food. I crushed sleep. My squat after a year was up to 315 by 5. My bench after like a year and a half, 275 by 3 to 4. I was progressing. and consistent. And maybe I gained 10 to 12 pounds the first year. So optimal could have the potential to gain 16, but in the real world, that doesn't exist. No one has their sleep nailed, their form nailed, their training nailed, their rest nailed, everything nailed, their food nailed right out of the gate and ready to run. It just is theoretically virtually impossible outside of the rare individual. Does that make sense? Soy sauce banana. I'm seriously considering giving up dips. I'm okay with that. You have my blessing. But what the hell? Barbell work. Okay. Just didn't expect that, but we'll work with it. Yeah, Simon says, what is the sleep you speak of? Yeah, that's how I feel right now this week. I can't put a bar on my back. That's normal. I can't either. That's why I do a buffalo bar or safety squat bar. I'm sad because these exercises hit chest. So dips are schmips, whatever. Dips are not mandatory. Do dips hit chest? Yes. Do they hit triceps? Yes. Do you need them? No. You have plenty of other good exercises out there for chest. So what I don't understand here is the giving up barbell work. All you're really giving up is squats. So basically giving up squats and dips, no big whoop. You plenty of exercise you can kill yourself with. Carlton, how's it going, Carlton? Good morning. David, I find I let my shoulders take over one bench. Here's the cue. Stop worrying about what's moving what. And you guys need to hear this. It's a compound movement. Stop worrying about what feels sore. Focus on form and control. When you start out, there's a good chance your front delts are going to feel burny-worny. Because your front delts, you got a lot of muscles involved in the bench press or in any compound lift. The bench, you have front delts, side delts, chest, even forearms and biceps and triceps to a degree. Stop worrying about what's taking over. Get fucking strong on these lifts. Listen, it doesn't fucking matter what's taking over. What needs to take over is a 315-pound bench. If something is taking over, that doesn't mean the other muscles aren't working. And I'm just being honest with you, Dave. Right? It means your shoulders are fucking weak, my friend. That doesn't mean your chest isn't working hard. That doesn't mean your triceps aren't working hard. When I do squats, I don't feel my quads. I feel my hamstrings. My quads are huge, okay? Huge. Just because I don't feel my hamstrings or don't feel my quads doesn't mean they're not working. Here's the thing we need to understand, and hide the kids and turn down the volume. Fuck your feelings. It's a compound movement. We need to use good quality control and get fucking strong on them. Fuck how an exercise feels. You put together a good exercise selection of compounds for each body part. You got good exercise selection. We're going to target that muscle group with different exercises. We can't overanalyze. This one feels the shoulders and this one, fuck all that. Get strong on all of them with good control. When you feel a muscle group, I feel like Chris Farley, when you van, right, down by the river, right, when you feel a muscle, it doesn't mean shit other than that muscle is temporarily weaker than the other muscles, but that doesn't mean the other muscles aren't working hard. They are, especially if you are progressing. Don't worry if the shoulders are taking over when you bench. They're not taking over. They're the weak muscle group trying to catch up to the stronger muscle groups. Does that make sense? So you guys can relax. Don't overanalyze. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to get you on the right track. Relax. Don't overanalyze. Fuck feelings, right? We're in the gym to put together a quality selection of exercises and get strong at those with good control. That provides this good control, provides good tension, provides good stress, and provides good stimulation. When you start lifting, your front delts tend to be really, really sore because they're a lot weaker than your chest and your triceps on your pressing. Don't worry about that. Don't change anything. Just go in with a voracious a passion for progressive overload. I was trying to just weave together some bullshit words there, but it didn't work too well. Tim, I really feel, we went back to feeling. We're back to feel. I feel. Just a joke, Tim, just based on the last question. We're back to feelings again. I feel that when you have a passion for something, training is just second nature. I don't ever need to make myself work hard. Yeah, I mean, you'll have good days and bad days. You'll have days when you're tired and days after like something stressful popped up in your life randomly. Like your boss was a boss, right? We'll be polite. Your boss was a boss, an exceptionally annoying boss, or like you left a dish in the sink and your girlfriend, wife, whatever, lit you up. Like you just worked like 15 hours and you moved the dish to the sink from the thing. And like then the dog puked on your foot and your wife wasn't home. So this may or may not have happened, and the dog puked, and then you forget that the dish is in the sink because you're wiping up the puke. And then when you're wiping up the puke, the garbage bag is full. So you change the garbage bag and take that out. And then you go to put a new garbage bag, and there's no garbage bags left in the house. So you have to drive to the convenience store and get some garbage bags and come home and fill up the garbage bag. And then when you get done, because you just had 15 hours of work and you cleaned up puke and you tried to clean up the garbage, shake out the garbage, but there was no new garbage bags, and you drove all the way to the convenience store and you changed the garbage bags, and then you went upstairs to take a shower to be fresh and gentle when your wife/girlfriend or whatever got home. And the first thing she does when she opens the door is says, "Why is there a dish in the sink?" Right? And you're like, fuck, right? That's the life of a man. That's the life of a man. You like my humor? That's pretty much accurate. Like we'll go through that extreme chain of events, and then we forgot the dish in the sink because we were doing the other stuff, and we get So where was I? I don't even need to make myself work hard. It's there are days, Tim, where life kicks you in the pouch, but if you without passion, there's really nothing. Tim, you have the passion, and I know where you're going. So just stay on that path. Dumbbells and Donuts, how is the return to trail running going? Any plans for video content documenting? I don't know, man. I need to get a better gimbal. I have I have a good gimbal and I have a good camera. That was here. But the gimbal I had is kind of wonky. Like it likes to go random directions. It was never a great gimbal. So maybe. The thing is, I don't really have a lot of time for filming and content. I started doing more stuff on Instagram this week, doing micro content. This and last week, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but that's kind of my next step. I took some of my old videos and I have a kind of an AI software that will slice and dice them into smaller content. So it does the work for me. So that's kind of the next thing. The next big things for me is to finish my book and to do some filming in the gym on my workouts and more quality form videos. Running, I need to get back into running full time. I think November 13th, when I move into my house, I'll have more time because, to focus on things. So we'll see. Big John Paul, what do you suggest I do when weights seem heavier? So when you go into the gym and weights seem heavier than normal, that's typically your central nervous system. Uh, Eric said that dishes story was a joke, but it really happened. It was a joke, but stuff like that happens to us guys all the time. So when you go into the gym and weights feel heavier than normal, that's your central nervous system usually trying to tell you something. Or you could be extremely fatigued or a little bit overreached. When things like that happen, you have to pay attention because the door to injury is open. So just be super cautious. I would not push through. I'd take things set by set. I wouldn't change the weights necessarily, but when you are in a set, you have to still stop that set at max safe reps. So if that's 4 lower than what you expected because of your central nervous system, then shut it down. Don't injure yourself. Live to fight another day. All right. Disparity between left and right arm is getting greater. Okay. We have about a 5 rep difference. Any advice? That's only temporary, likely. If it's not temporary, then there's a good chance something greater is going on here. That's not just a natural disparity, but they usually close. The biggest thing we notice them on is like a dumbbell row for me, and sometimes on a dumbbell bench. But you still have to do all the exercises. So I like on dumbbell rows, if one arm is stronger or weaker, I like to do the weak arm first and then only match those reps with the stronger arm. Does that make sense? Just be patient, hang tough. Planning on joining Team Massive this week and getting some form help. Talked about knee pain last week. I want you to understand something. There's a good chance that, yes, box squats made your knees feel better, but it's unlikely it's because of the box squats. Let me explain. The most typical issue on a squat, here's the angle of your feet, whatever it is, arbitrary, pointed slightly out. When people go to descend on a squat, they tend to do this with their knees. They want the angle of their thigh to match this angle of their feet, right? They have to be stacked, the angle of the thigh, angle of the foot. That'll facilitate the best knee and hip positioning. Most people, when they descend, their knees wobble or come in side of the angle of their foot. And what you see is their heels lift and raise in on a squat. If you watch closely on a squat video, watch the heels of the lifter. That's the first thing I look on a new squat video, somebody I haven't seen before. And if the heels are raising and lifting in, that usually means the knees are in. Then I look up and then I walk up the ladder, so to speak. On a box squat, we have a tendency more to, it's going to change the squat. We don't generally lift with our knees in on a box squat. We're going to be more likely to do knees out on a box squat. And that's going to invariably fix the squat. Because people just squat differently when they box squat. They got something they're sitting on, and they don't generally just put their knees together. When your knees are together on a non-box squat, you kind of fold over because your body doesn't have anything else to do. When you watch the bar path on somebody with a knees in squat, it'll come down, and then the bar will move forward as they try to find a way to get in the hole. So as far as joining Team Massive, here is my advice. Number one, it's only $4.99 a month. And there is a one-time fee, lifetime fee, if you don't want to do that. A lot of guys join Team Massive, and about 50% don't use it at all. And as somebody that wants to help people, that frustrates me. I can't force people to ask for form checks. I can't force people to ask questions. But I do know this, and this is not arrogance. I know this from coaching. The people that are joining need help. They need programming help. They need form help. They need nutrition help. And I don't know why they join and don't ask for help, even if it's via DM. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. But there's 50% that join and never ask a question. So the only thing I'm asking is for anybody that wants to join teammassiveiron.com, please use it. Please. Every morning, what I do is I will grab my energy drink. The first thing I do in the morning is greet Team Massive. I greet Team Massive. I go over questions. I go over form videos. And then for about a half an hour, that's the first thing I do every day. I get that off my plate. I make sure I see what I missed. Sorry, I got the phone ringing. Let me move that over. I see what I missed, and then I move on to my coaching stuff. So if you do join Team Massive, just check out the form area and let me help. If you're bulking properly, what's a good cutoff indicator for a bulk? Well, it depends on everybody. Like, it depends on where you start. Generally, 10 pounds is a good, first reassessment point. If somebody started at, say, 152, a male, and they got to 162, then we would reassess. And there's a good chance they look relatively lean, so we could bulk another 5 to 10 pounds. A lot of it has to do with timing. Is this a good time for a cut, etc. But we always want to reassess after 10 pounds. And 10 pounds, generally 4-ish months is good, a good 4-month cycle. 3 more aggressive, 5 at the low end, somewhere in that range. Tim, how close would you say I'm to my potential? Tim, you're on a good path. I'd have to look at I don't have your weight in my head, your body weight and your height, simply because I think a lot of what you do is in kilos, so my brain can't remember kilos too well. So just hit me up on Team Massive. Shelly, how did you meet your wife? You guys want the long story or the short story? I'll give you guys a short story, but I got a preface it with this picture, because my wife went through 100-pound transformation about the same time as I went through 100-pound transformation. So I'm going to show you guys an image of my wife and her transformation. And I just want to pull it up. Hang tough. It'll hang tight. It'll be worth it. I guarantee it. So here we go. This is my wife's transformation. Present. Share screen. Okay. She lost over 100 pounds about the same time I did. She works incredibly hard. Like, she's the hardest working person I know. Literally. She gets up every morning and lifts weights and then does like Zumba or toning or whatever. She does dance classes every week. She literally does 3 to 4 resistance training sessions a week and like 10 to 15 hours of fitness classes a week. She is active, to say the least. So when I met her, she looked like this, right? The person on the right. Well, we had been Instagram friends for a while. Not like we're not like we're interacting much, but we were connected on Instagram for a while. So she DM'd me, and I started talking to her. and immediately I felt a really good connection. But she was she was too good to be true. I mean, she's an incredibly beautiful woman. So I'm like, I want to make sure I wasn't being catfished. So I'm like, let's talk on the phone. I hit the let's talk on the phone early in the whole thing because I want to make sure she wasn't fooling me, catfishing, and she wasn't. And that's how we met. And because she was from Australia, after like a month talking, I was like, would you be interested in coming over to the States for a while? And I wasn't trying to pressure her, but if she wasn't interested in coming to the States at all, there was no point in us even talking, right? I don't want to waste anybody's time. But she was, and she did, and that's how it happened. Big Jonathan. All right, guys, before I get into this, we're about an hour into Massive Iron Live. Keep the questions coming. I'm here as long as you guys have questions, so keep them rolling. I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. There are no dumb questions, no stupid questions. Keep them rolling. What do we got? How's the house building going? Good. I move into my new house on November 13th. It's a dream come true. I come from a very family that didn't have a lot. I'm not going to play my little mini violin, but it feels really good to have your own house. And those of you that are homeowners, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. The market around here is super, super competitive. A new house, or not a new house, a nice house would go on the market. And by nice, I don't mean like mansions and things like that. I mean, just a nice, clean house will go on the market and be sold immediately. It'd have 3 to 4 offers in. So it really came down to us, building a house. And we found an area in Ohio that gave us 5 years of free property taxes. So with that in mind, we were able to get a little bit more house. We don't need a big house. It's just nice to have something new. But we're going to have a basement gym. It's coming. Barbell Bryce, good morning. Team Massive, thanks for tuning in. Richard from Scotland. How's it going, Richard? Big Megaroids. Joshy Rue. Should natural bodybuilding competitions ease up on leanness? I feel like it would be much better for naturals. Josh, I know many people will disagree with us, but I would agree. I don't think it should be like a lot of times bodybuilding competitions turn into leanness competitions. And I don't think we would lose much if they were just a hair less lean. You know what I mean? I don't think it would take away. It might make it a little bit more healthier. But I don't know. It's extremes, everybody likes extremes. Extremely peeled. I just don't know. We all like the circus act, and bodybuilding is that in a sense. So my shoulders have explodified since I started bulking and doing a body part split. I'm doing overhead push press. Are you doing seated? Oh, you're doing Arnold's. Okay. So laterals, Arnold's. Nah, that's other than maybe, if you had a machine press in the gym, you could do rest pause work, but I wouldn't add in an exercise. I might do that every other exercise with every other week with like upright rows or something. Remote key. Can I build muscle one day a week in the gym? Anything is possible. If you give me the question I always turn this into is if you give me 1 week in a commercial gym, one day a week in a commercial gym, and then some stuff to do at home, what can I get done? I can get done a lot. You can do dumbbell bench. When you say microplate, so that scares me a little bit at home. You can do dumbbell bench, you can do barrel press, you can do dumbbell flies, you can do push ups, maybe even a way to do dips. Um, you can do dumbbell rows, chest supported rows, lat focused rows, maybe even pull ups and inverted rows at home. Legs are harder. You probably have to do a couple leg exercises at the commercial gym, or maybe leg press, leg extensions, squats, leg extensions. You can do Bulgarians and lunges at home and even goblets if you want. So, yeah, you can get it done. You just have to structure it right. Remote key, what new t shirt are you working on? I have, I'll show you guys real quick some of the latest t shirts I've put out. And again, I'm not an apparel company. So when you buy a shirt from me, you get I make like $5. I'm not trying to make a living off selling apparel. That's not what I do. But I will show you guys if you go to my website, superlivingtoday.com. I'll show you guys real quick some of the t-shirts I've worked on. If you go over to my website, you go over to store apparel. We'll just click apparel. And we go to the last. That'll be the most recent. So this is one I put together recently. It's just a little bit more subtle and stylish. It says massive power builder, but the massive is a little bit hidden. And you can see the big strong right there. And we got obviously different colors. We got the brown and we got the black. I kind of like the brown in this, just good fall colors. This is pretty slick as well. We got we got a good variety of colors. I think it's a pretty cool little. It's more fashiony, right? It's less like somebody said you're covering up the massive. Well, it's just kind of for style. You know what I'm saying? So, we hit the back button here. So I'll just show you guys a few more, just for example, and we'll move on. I got that in tanks, and I got that in tees. I made this as a joke for somebody that wanted a wiener dog t-shirt. I have 3 wiener dogs, so they said massive, so I put together massive wiener. All right, it's juvenile, but they asked, don't hate me. We got a couple colors of that, just as a joke. No one's going to buy it. This is a massive university sweatshirt that I put out. We got some different colors. I think these are pretty slick. I think these look pretty sharp. It's just stuff I would wear, I like them. So we got a variety of different colors. And then Train Week, Look Week. Let's see. This one I got a couple more and then we'll go. This is the basically we bulk on our bulk hoodie. That was requested by a member of Team Massive. A few more. Hang tough. These are the motorcycle ones. We have the t-shirt and the tank in this. This is the Born to Lift, Massive Iron Born to Lift. It's kind of a motorcycle biker type of shirt. Get big, get strong, Born to Lift. And we have another motorcycle shirt as well. You get it in t-shirt or hoodie. And this is a little more funky and a little bit more progressive. It's a more modern type of shirt, pretty cool looking. Massive Iron, Born to Lift, Born to Grow. You got the piston in there. And what other colors do we have? I don't know. Is that we got a few other colors. This guy needs to lift a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got a lot of interesting things going on my apparel on my website. If you just need some good apparel, this one's a joke for people that don't like the word power builder. You got this goofball, just a random silly shirt I made. We got massive university ones. I'm working on some of these, and I got to get these right. I'm working on these more for my wife. Some of the leggings. So I haven't ordered those and tested those yet. But we got all kinds of stuff. This is a popular one. We got it in tank, tee, whatever. the massive G.I. Joe massive iron shirt. And one more we'll look at. Somebody wanted like a Snickers bar. So we got that. We got all kinds of stuff. I just do this for fun. Again, maybe 10 people a month order shirts, but we just have a lot of apparel. These gym bags, by the way, kick ass. I use this. This is my favorite gym bag ever. It's huge. It's durable. I'm really proud of this gym bag. So if you need a new gym bag, that's legit. And if you want to be a weirdo, we have massive iron deadlift shoes or Chucks, Chuck style. And we even have them for women and the Pinky Winkies. Those are pretty hot looking. And what else we got? We got the old zip with the massive iron on it. So we got a lot of stuff, guys. So if you're looking for some Christmas presents and some good lifting shirts, check that stuff out. I don't mark it up a lot. I barely mark it up at all. I'm not trying to be a t-shirt company, but I just like having shirts I can wear that aren't just the boring same old crap. Could heavy lifting? Yeah, anything can cause hiatal hernia. That's not on my pay grade, but hernias, lifting can sometimes cause hernias. That's for sure. Are you going to do a tier list video soon? Yes. I don't know about this weekend, but I do have a tier list video planned, so hang tough. Big Jack, thoughts on doing the new bulldozer training for 12 weeks leading into a run of your 510 bench program? Yeah, absolutely. Or you could insert that into the bulldozer training instead of one of the chest exercises. You can absolutely do either. Have you ever coached someone dumbbell bench and easy bar? I've had clients, absolutely. I've had clients during the pandemic. Let me tell you something. I came home from Scotland, everybody's gym closed, and my clients were like, I got a rubber band, a collection jar of my old toenail clippings that weigh 3 pounds, right? And a sock. What can I do for a home gym workout? I'm being facetious, but man, I've helped people train with everything. I've literally helped people train with everything. There are clients that hit periods where they can only train at home and they have very limited equipment. So everything I do is custom. Could heavy lifting, we already got that. Swallowing difficulties. Something's going on there that sounds glandular, and that's out of my pay grade. I don't want to sound like a doctor because that's way out of my pay grade. How do you balance being a long distance runner with having a huge squat? I don't know. Look, here's the thing. When you have strength and muscle, it's hard to lose it, right? Now, there's two different types of strength levels. A 500-pound squat, which is really, really strong, or somebody doing 650 or 700, which is like way up the ladder, right? So, like if you want to maintain like one of the best squats in the world and do distance running, it might be a little bit more challenging. But once you have strength and muscle, it's really, really easy to hold on to. You just have to keep the ball training with lifting, not overrun. And I made the mistake of overrunning at times. Richard, should I add weight? I'm not even reading the rest of this question because anything is like, should I add weight? Like, I don't know if you guys know who Fred Sanford is. The sitcom from the 70s. Go check it out. You big dummy. You big dummy. Should I wait? You big dummy. Should I add weight? Richard, I love you. Fuck yeah, add weight. I'm doing yoga. I love you, Richard. I love you like the son I never wanted. You got add weight. Put a plate on your chest, a backpack, a front pack, weighted underwear. Put a woman on your back, a man on your back, a dog on your back. Do something. Yeah, I would. Just be safe. Tim with the poop question. Tim, ever had to poop while running? I will tell you something, Tim. When you run, we ran 10 hours, 14 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a week for years, at least 2 years, maybe 3. Sometimes you got to poop. Sometimes we actually got C. diff. And you don't know what that is. Your stomach's in distress. 6 months into filming our documentary. And that's like living with constant diarrhea for a month. We've had occasions, but when you are on the trail for extended periods of time, you learn how to manage the old poop. One advantage of trail running. Could we smear out our max potential? You could, but anybody could do anything really. Absolutely. My wife might be home, so that's the dogs. How bad was that bicep form I posted today in Team Massive? Why didn't I see it? How did I miss it? Make sure I see it when we're done, because I thought I saw it pass by, but I didn't. It must have been one of the forums. I might have glanced over it accidentally. W. Dale, good day. How's it going? Big John, a few months into my bulk and couldn't train for like a week and a half. When you can't train for like a week and a half, you just go back to maintenance level. When you are more than 10 days out from a lift, a big lift like squats, deads, bench, you lower weight 10%. When you are more than 20 days out, it doesn't, a week and a half isn't that long. So I'm assuming you didn't get more than 20 days out. So you lower weight 10%. You probably enter maintenance mode until like the day before you're ready to go again, and then just get back at it. Tony Afalugia, just being a smart ass. Tanya. Whoa, why did I read Tony? Sorry. That A, my brain saw a middle initials. A middle initial. Sorry. Tanya Farugello. Did I pronounce that correctly? Is a pump product without caffeine beneficial? Well, that's a very good question. And this can be highly debated. But this is going to be highly personal. The pump could theoretically contribute to the sprinkles on the icing on the cake of muscle growth. So sometimes the pump can help us connect. Not just that, but sometimes it can help us connect with the muscle being worked. Is there any downside? No. That's the real core of this question. Is there any downside? No. The caffeine is a secondary issue, right? But if the pump product helps you connect and you feel there's an upside, a connection, then by all means use it. Simon, what's the sleep you speak of exactly? Happy birthday. No question today. Just wanted to say thank you for taking time. Thank you, and I appreciate you taking time to say that. Your tip to keep knees out on squats is helping me stay more upright on squats, but having trouble getting depth. Just be patient. Knees are the priority. The second is controlling the squat down. Just not, we have to control it down. We have to think loading a spring going down. Harut. For form checks on the big lifts, are there things you are more stringent about the first few reps? Well, I will tell you, the first rep of a squat and the first rep of a deadlift, not always, but on many, many occasions tends to be the sloppiest. People go in, they overthink that first rep, and then the war kicks in, and they tend to think less and function more naturally. So I do know that the first rep sometimes needs more forgiveness. And then the second and third rep, things will fall into place. I like to let people know that because, I don't want to say that's just kind of natural. Just keep an eye on it, and they can work on it over time. If you are getting to the point on a squat where you're coming up and the hips are starting, the hips are rising faster than the head and they're looking a little bit sloppy, that's really when we should shut down a squat. We don't want to get to that point. Saw your video on Nick Chubb squatting 600. Despite the form, it is insane weight. Yeah, it is an insane weight. But, if you're an NFL athlete with awful form moving 600 pounds and you got a big contract, I wasn't trying to make fun of Nick, but, the fact that can happen in the NFL circles where you have top tier talent, that could be life changing. It's not funny to me, right? And I'm not saying it's funny to you, Eric, but that form, whoever taught Nick that form, and I'm not saying somebody did, maybe Nick taught himself, but if a strength coach taught him that form or let him get by with that form, he should be fired. Because you have an NFL team with a strength coach that's allowing these guys to put themselves in harm's way. They're playing with millions of dollars in careers and lives and team results.
Did they even visit you?
What's going on?
Did the boys even visit?
Oh, come here. Come here, buddy.
Did they visit?
Buddy boy did. I got a tongue in my ear. Leave $1 on the nightstand, boy. Come on, buddy. You won't come up.
Chichi, up. Up, Chichi.
Okay, it's time for all the wieners.
Did they come visit?
Oh, come here.
They didn't come visit?
Buddy boy did. Okay. So how was your
Yeah.
Did you lift this morning?
I did. Yeah, I did what?
Did you lift or did Boomba?
No, I didn't.
Watch out, buddy. You're
lifted and did my cross training.
Cross training. So what do you do for cross training?
You work every muscle group.
Every muscle
group. And I have dogs jumping on. And we did heaps of legs and you're like this on the side bench, and then she makes you go like this, and then we do heaps of these, and then we do these. So we stand out on the leg on the bench and we're like, with 10-pounders.
I do that when you're in the shower. I get naked and I do that outside the shower.
And then we do heaps of planks.
She doesn't think I do that. When you're in taking a shower, I want to look my best when you get out of the shower. So I do that.
No, you're laying on a bed.
No, I quickly jump to the bed.
See, so, it looks like you're relaxing.
So I got a pump on.
I should just go there and try some sit-ups and then get out and go.
All right. We'll get back to the fun here. Let me adjust the camera.
No, I'm going to get my car serviced.
Yeah, how's your car doing?
Same.
Right.
Same as before. It didn't change.
All right, where are we?
Come on, let's go. Crazy dogs.
You both are an inspiration. Thank you, Raphael. Matt, keep the questions coming, guys. Bummed I tweaked my back. What's funny is I did it while walking. Yeah, that's welcome to old age. Like last year, I hurt my knee early in the year. And people like, how did you hurt your knee? Walking down the steps. Legit. Like you spend 38 years squatting and you hurt yourself walking down the steps. Like seriously, that's my fate, right? That's how the story unfolds. That took a year for me to recover. Just something tweaked. Big John, I also gained a bit more I also gained a bit during my derail. That's okay. How do you deal with emotional eating? That's a big question, my friend. Number one, obviously, is awareness. Okay. So I am not trying to be your counselor, but I do want to give you guys some advice. Number one, you need to be willing to hear this advice. Bringing the stuff in the house that bothers you when you're an emotional eater, you can't do that. I'm full of dog hair now. You can't. Like, if you say I'm an emotional eater and you eat ice cream and you bring ice cream in the house, that's like an alcoholic leaving alcohol in the house. You can't do that. So if you're serious about fighting this, you have to fight it, right? You have to take the food out of the house. No excuses, no bullshit. I don't want to hear it. You don't get any excuses. If you struggle with eating or binge eating or emotional eating and you leave that food in the house, you're not serious, right? Number two, you need to do some form of self-assessment. When I am emotionally eating, what do I go for? What could I swap it for that at least has nutrients and maybe a little bit more healthier for me? Like if you eat a gallon of ice cream, what could you swap that for? Well, you could do Greek yogurt with frozen fruit, but it's not ice cream. No shit, it's not ice cream. You have this is you have to kind of fight it. You have to fight. That's what I had to do. I had to set rules and I had to stick to rules. When I broke free of binge eating and emotional eating, I made new rules. And even if I ate 5,000 calories of Greek yogurt or cheese, that was better than eating tortilla chips and a half gallon of ice cream. Right? So it's a process, and we have to be okay to be in process. It's rarely ever, one or the other. It's rarely ever a light switch. What triggers your emotional eating? This is a big issue. You might need to see a counselor or something. Some people, and this is not I'm not making fun of this. Some people, everyday life stress is hard for them to deal with. I know folks that run around, my day's stressful, today's so stressful, I can't believe the stress, my boss, this is stress, that's stress. Like, when you stand back and look at their life compared to people with, I hesitate to say real stress, but people that have really bad, rough lots in life, like a woman that is being physically abused and can't get out of the relationship safely, or someone that has to work 3 jobs to take care of their mother, their dying mother, or whatever, real hard-hitting stress, right? You have that. Someone comes out with breast cancer and their husband dies, right? And they all of a sudden have a world of confusion on their shoulders. There's degrees of stress. There are people that don't handle everyday basic life stress well, and they emotionally eat from it. Those types of people probably need some form of counseling, and that's not a negative thing. We don't make fun of mental health issues, but we need to get help, right? We need help in some form or fashion. So, but from a pragmatic standpoint, you have to be at least willing not to bring that food into your house. Stian, hello from Norway. Cody, Last night I hit a squat PR. I came home and told my dad I hit 315 for 17. He looked at me and says, "I'm bench." I'm bench. Yeah, well, I don't think. Look, first off, that's an extremely rare squat. You should be super, super pleased. Not many people get that. Not many at all. You're real close to 315 by 20, which I would consider extremely rare air. That'd be like a triple double or hitting for the cycle in baseball. Which 5-day per week split would you recommend? I like the 4-day plus the optional junk day. Now, the optional junk day is like a day you could do on Saturday where you do arms and rear delts and calves and abs and traps or whatever junk you don't want to fit in during the week. And then the 4 days during the week, you could do an upper posterior, you could do a torso, limbs, or that sort of split, either one of those. Greetings and thank you for the information. Thank you for tuning in. Harut, which pieces of equipment are you most looking forward to adding to the home gym? Good question. What do I want to add? I love my leverage squat. I'm getting lever arms with my racks. I don't know what I want to add. I got a pretty decked out home gym. So what do I want to add? Maybe a deadlift platform would be really cool. Could you please do a massive iron small logo black on a white t-shirt with the logo on the right chest? Do you want a pocket or no pocket? I assume we don't want a no pocket, but I gotta ask. All right, guys, we got like 6-7 questions left, so pile them on now. Probably gonna be about another 15 minutes. If no questions, I'm going to hop off. So time to get your questions in the last call. We got about 7 or 8 left. Sam, would a split like Dorian Yates, chest, biceps, legs, rest, shoulders, triceps, back, biceps work? Yeah, absolutely. Splits work well. It's all about weekly volume. Don't get caught up in frequency. Sam, bulking strategies for someone very active who needs just 4,000 calories to maintain. Well, yes, you can add in look, when you're up around 4,000 calories of intake, you're getting in plenty of nutrients, right? So adding in a little bit of unhealthy food, is it the worst thing in the world? No. First off, you could add in an ounce or 2 of heavy cream into your protein shake. It'll make it taste amazing. And this is a real simple way to add calories. You can add cheese and sour cream, a little bit of cheese and sour cream on dishes. You can add a little bit of peanut butter here and there and everywhere. So those are the more natural ways with good nutrition to add calories. Thanks, Richard. But, could you add in a little bit of ice cream every day? Man, that's a little tiny ice cream is a good way to add in 800 quick calories. And if you're training hard and eating good, at the end of the day, have an ice cream, man. Have a couple Doritos. I hang my head in shame. That's right, Richard. Sorry. There's one guy at the gym that always shows up in blue jeans. Does he have a cowboy hat too? And when he walks, does his spurs jingle, jangle, jingle? No. Are they stretchy jeans or are they going to blow out, right? Is this allowed in the massive universe? In the home gym, sometimes when I was busy, I'd roll down in my stretchy jeans and just do some work. I'm not going to judge, man. There's some people that different careers, different things going on. I'm okay with that. What gets kind of scary though is if you go to the gym and you're grunting, you're groaning, you're pushing your toothpaste a little bit, you got a couple of squeaky farts come out. Not trying to be gross or crude here, but you got all that butt funk, butt sweat, butt farts, toothpasting going on, and that's just lathered into the crevasses of your undergrunders and your stylish blue jeans, and then you go to work and you wear them the next day. You don't do a sniff test, right? Let's watch our stuff, guys. Let's keep that shot group a little bit tighter. Have you ever thought about leaving your Massive Iron legacy? Someone, do you have ever thought about it yet? I would like to have a website with all my information up when I am no longer here, with all my articles and my videos and stuff. I would, because this is my life's work, and someone can think if they don't like it, that's fine. But it would comfort me to know that when I'm no longer here, if everything I had was all in one place. So yes, I mean, I want to do that stuff now. I want to get it all gathered in a central location. I just don't have time, and I don't have the money to pay somebody. I'm just a small time coach with a lot of content, if you know what I'm saying. If you're trying to maintain your current body weight and your body fat percentage 8 to 10, 5'7", 163, is it still possible to gain strength if you're on TRT? If somebody goes on TRT, you're probably going to gain a few pounds. Is it possible to gain strength? Well, every lift's going to be different. Every lift's going to be different. So it's possible you're going to gain strength on some lifts and not on others. That goes for TRT or non-TRT. So, if there's a few lifts that you're weaker at, or you still have some legs to stretch in those lifts, I would say absolutely. Big Bad Bert. Will you do a how to stay sane during the holidays type of overeating? Generally not. I don't usually do. I'm trying to avoid non-lifting stuff. When I do nutrition stuff, it doesn't get a lot of views. And I'm not just doing it for the views, right? But, how to stay sane is basically have a day or two where you have fun and let go and enjoy, but don't make every day like it. Taste, but don't abuse on the other days. John said, no pocket, please. You got it. Richard, great live as always. Thank you, sir. Keep the questions coming. I'll stay on as long as you have them. To get my calories, and I've been mixing my shake with. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Sam, you need to get some heavy cream. It tastes great. And put an ounce in your shake. You will thank me. It changes the way that protein powder tastes. Are there any other power type back hitters like the pendulum row? The T-bar, it comes to mind. That's the next big one in place. And they are probably equals other than dumbbell rows. How do you suggest sequencing exercises if you're training more than one muscle group in a session? First off, you have to look at the big picture, okay? What is my biggest exercise on that day? For example, all back, then bicep, or one back, one bicep. No, you never put biceps before more back work. You never do more back work with biceps fatigue. You always do your back and then biceps. Some people are like, but when I get to my biceps work, they're fatigued. Yes, that's how it works. We're not chasing numbers. We're chasing cumulative fatigue and stress. If your biceps aren't toast by the time you get to your biceps, you're not training hard enough, or at least minorly fatigued. Sorry. Somebody's at the door. if the rest of it's going to be big picture stuff, like if you're squatting that day and benching, it's probably best to do squats before bench. Deadlifting is always going to take a priority. You really don't want anything fatigued headed into a deadlift. It really comes down to the structure of the program. But when you're looking at major and minor muscle groups, the major muscle groups always come first. I always get a lot of folks that'll say, my triceps are torched by the time I get to triceps work. Good. I do not care if you can't do a normal amount of dips, and neither should you, because your triceps are toast. And that's what we want. We want to improve in that arena. We don't juggle exercises around to improve performance. We're there to tax the muscle groups and improve in that realm. Does that make sense? In my own home gym, there's a lot of training in slippers. That's fine, no judgment. Big Bad Bert, if volume is king, wait a minute. Who said volume's king? Bert? Who said? I didn't say volume is king. Let's clarify. Is there any downside to spread some work during the week? All right, Bert. I'm going to introduce you to the massive iron world. We look at weekly volume. You look at weekly volume. There is no downside to how that volume falls, how you lay it out. That belief is an overfocus on muscle protein synthesis elevated into the be-all, end-all over the course of 10 years, which is nonsense. Your split doesn't matter. All that matters is weekly volume per body part, and we are not after just junk volume. Does that make sense? All right, guys, last call. We got 2 questions left. I box 3 times a week. Okay. I'm a late novice. I really don't know about training 6 times a week. Jack, if you are pushing at least 1 set for every exercise for maximum reps and progressing, then I'm okay with it. If not, you're just doing a lot of junk. So I would need to know more. If you're recovering, you're recovering, right? Are you recovering? If so, you're recovered. If not, then you need to train less. So you're going to have to pull something back. Maybe your push-pull legs are 5 times a week. But you need to make sure that at least 1 set per exercise is pushed for max safe reps, or there's no point in training 6 days a week. Does that make sense? If you have a flat stomach, yeah, 100%. If you don't have any chest fat, belly fat, love handle fat, and back fat, you're at 18% or under. That's full permission to lock and load that bulk. All right, guys, that's it. It's been a good hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate everyone's questions. Please come back next week at 11 a.m. Eastern, Massive Iron Live. If you guys have any video topic ideas, don't hesitate to drop them down below. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please head over to Instagram and follow me at Ben the Barman. If you have any questions that you couldn't fit in this video, just slide into my DM. Consider joining teammassiveiron.com. Head over to the coaching tab right now and sign up. I'd love to work with you. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great weekend, and I am out of here.
It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.